She walked into the auction hall in a simple dress and became the target of ridicule without saying a word. They were bidding for her painting without even knowing who was standing right in front of them. When she walked up to the stage, the laughter in the room turned into a silence that no one could break. And when the world offered her millions, she chose what can't be bought. Don't forget to subscribe and like so you don't miss new stories. Excuse me, madam, an invitation? Here it is. Are you sure it is real? I received it personally from the curator. The guard at the entrance examined the cardboard. Genuine, with a signature. He sighed and stepped back. Come in. Maya Ellis walked into the room. The light was golden, the furniture was velvet, the people had faces that looked like they were cut from the same mold. She walked along the tables, not looking at anyone. No one expected someone like her to show up. Who is this? You mean the one in gray? My God, what kind of fabric is this? Is this linen? It looks like she's lost and looking for the toilet. She heard. She didn't flinch. She turned into the depths of the hall and took a place by the wall. In her hands was the paddle number, 124. She doesn't even have a bag. Have you seen her shoes? They're just fabric. She has no makeup. You can't even see her eyelashes. Maybe she's a member of staff? She's sitting in the guest area. That's a mistake. Somewhere nearby, decorations glittered. Fans flapped. Wine was poured nonstop. She did not ask, nor was it offered. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The auctioneer's voice rang out in the hall. Today we have a special evening. Among other works, there is one lot that has been talked about for the last 2 months, and we will begin with it. Silence. Light. A canvas is brought onto the stage. People jump up, take pictures. Someone exhales out loud. Is this her? Veil of Dawn. I thought this was going to be in a closed catalog. No, this is an open bid, unsigned, anonymous. Whoever it is, they are a genius. Maya didn't move. She looked ahead, as if she hadn't painted this picture in the silence of a public shelter, when there was snow outside and the paints were in a plastic box under the bed. The starting bid is 2 million. 3, came the first voice. 5, 7, 9, 11. Bets flew like sparks. People raised their paddles with ease, as if they were bargaining over dessert rather than someone's soul. 14 million. 15. The auctioneer slowed his voice. 16. Who will give more than $16 million? Maya picked up the paddle. 20. Pause. What did she say? Who? She? Did you hear? She said 20. Is it her? She said 20 million in these clothes? Very well, madam. The auctioneer did not flinch. Bidder number 124 bids 20 million. Who will bid more? The hall did not come to life. It burned. Is this a joke? Get it out of here. Who started it? Is this a provocation? The cameras started rolling. Candace Monroe, in a Schiaparelli dress, immediately turned on the stream. Hey everyone, we're at an auction, and this is just incredible. See that woman in gray? She bid 20 million. She hasn't said a word since the beginning of the evening, and now 20 million? Maybe she mistook the paddle for a napkin. This is already a circus. An auction for crazy imposters. Maya lowered the paddle. Sat up straight. Didn't make excuses. Didn't leave. Excuse me, who are you anyway? She turned her head. Nobody. What do you mean, nobody? Exactly what you hear. Do you really have 20 million? Why do you need it? To know whether it's worth laughing louder. You can laugh. It's a free action. Candace was the first to laugh. Oh my God, this is perfect. You know, I'll start tomorrow's video with this. What those who think art is for everyone look like. Somewhere near the stage, the organizers froze. One of them was whispering something to the auctioneer. He tensed up. Please keep quiet. There is technical information. Lot 42, at the request of the author, is withdrawn from sale. What? Who is the author? Why? We're not finished yet. Gentlemen, please remain calm. The author of the lot is present in the hall. The gallery froze for a second. And then, a spotlight. One. Pointed at the end of the hall, at the woman in gray. People turned around. What's going on? Is it her? No, it's a mistake. It can't be. You, the author? Someone asked. I'm Maya Ellis. Is this your work? Yes. How? I wrote it in the shelter, on the floor, when the heating was on by the hour and the windows were drafty. I drew on the exhale, when there was nothing else to do but draw. But you, yes. I'm not yours. You're not from the galleries. No, I'm from the libraries, from the night shifts, from those who aren't invited. Why didn't you say? Because you didn't ask. You refused to sell? Yes. For 20 million? For everything. Is it a gesture? No. It's a decision. I don't want the work that was born in solitude to become a showcase in a house where no one will stop in front of it even for a second. The auctioneer stood silently. You don't understand what this means for us, and you didn't understand what this meant for me. Then you're just losing money. I just don't change my name for a price tag. She walked up to the stage. She took a piece of paper out of her pocket. A certificate of authenticity. She tore it up, slowly, silently. The cameras continued to film. No one laughed. I am donating all 42 works to a public gallery for children. No right to sell. No bidding. No entrance tickets. And she left. Through the hall, through the gold, through the glances, straight ahead. It was stupid, Candace whispered. It was a lesson, someone said. She lost millions. And you're a face. And no one else picked up the paddle, because the auction was over, and the story began. Are you sure you want to do this? I already have. You just turned down 20 million. No. I turned down 12 people who wanted to buy not the painting, but the signature. They didn't know it was you. They knew enough to laugh. Maya sat on a stone step behind the gallery. The evening was warm, the air smelled of asphalt and warmed flowers. The curator, a young guy named Liam, stood next to her. He had invited her to the auction, and he had framed all 42 paintings, unsigned. I didn't think you'd actually come out. Did you think I'd keep them? No. I just didn't know you were ready for this. I wasn't ready. But you did it. Because I'm tired of being not right. He sat down next to her. They're all talking about you now. Let them talk. Let them discuss what can't be sold. One of the collectors wrote me a letter. He said he wanted to apologize. To me, to himself. Then let him write it on his wall. Doesn't it scare you that you're everywhere now? I've already been everywhere. Only no one was looking. I mean the media, trends. You're at the top of X. I'll go to the library again tomorrow. Let the trends accelerate themselves. He nodded. Then he fell silent. Did you know there would be such a backlash? No. Then why? Because if I had left silently, they would have continued to think that everything they looked at belonged to them. And you wanted them to understand that no. You're not angry. I don't waste my anger on them. They produce it for themselves. You were insulted. They didn't touch me. They tried. But that was all they could do. You don't look offended. Because I didn't give them the right to decide my worth. How did you know when to stand up? That was the loudest laugh and the quietest place I could put a period. Liam took out his phone. Do you want to see what they write? No. At all? I have enough voices in my head. I don't need other people's whispers disguised as admiration. And if someone writes honestly, let them write. I just won't read it. I'm busy. What's your business tomorrow? A trip to the shelter. Right away? Yes, they're waiting. I promised. He nodded. Can I go with you? Do you want to see where what you called a brilliant stroke grew from? Exactly. Then let's go. Just don't wear a white shirt. It's all soaked in gouache. They sat in silence. Then Maya said, I remember the first time I drew hands. What? Hands. Children's. In the orphanage. We had old photos. And I tried to repeat them. Did it work? No. They came out trembling. But I realized that this was mine. I couldn't stop, even when no one asked. Did you keep your first works? No. They were used as breakfast mats. Are you sad about that? No. Back then, it was the only way for anyone to look. Do you think they'll change after today? They'll apologize. And then they'll put their faces back on. And you? I don't take mine off anymore. He laughed quietly. What? I'm just jealous. What? The way you keep quiet. It's not strength. It's just a habit when screaming is not heard. Maya. Yes? You are one of the few people whose anger does not turn into poison. I just don't see the point in stinging those who have already poisoned themselves. He stood up. Tomorrow at 9? Yes. Okay. Liam? M? Thanks for not interrupting when I got up. I couldn't. It was real. The real isn't always pretty, but it always remains. They said goodbye. Maya walked towards the metro, without a car, without security, with a bag on her shoulder and a shadow from the lamp behind her. The next morning, her name appeared on the headlines, The Woman Who Stopped Millions, A Quiet Revolution in Art. She refused and won. And she just walked into the shelter. She sat down on the floor. Who doesn't have a brush? Me. Me too. It'll be all over now. I have a new pack in my backpack. Are you really famous now? Asked the girl. I don't know. Are you rich now? I always have been. But I can draw silence. And she opened a can of paint. Blue. She applied a stroke to the white wall. What is this? Asked the boy. This is the beginning. The beginning of what? Something that no one will be able to buy, even if they offer 20 million. Do you want me to run the scene again? Yes. Why? I want to see their faces. You said yourself that you wouldn't watch the video. I don't watch the video. I want to see the faces. In memory. They're cleaner. Liam nodded silently. He sat with his laptop in his hands, but the screen was not turned on. Maya looked out the window. What do you remember most? The moment when everyone stopped laughing. What did you feel then? Not exactly a victory. More like the end of the show. Did you think anyone would applaud? No. I knew they would look at me as if I had broken their toy. He leaned forward, resting his elbows on his knees. I should have warned you they were like this. Liam, you don't have to do anything. But you went in there alone. Do you think anyone would have gone with me? He fell silent. I know. You wanted to. But this is not the place to be alone. When people are looking at you like you're a joke, there shouldn't be anyone around. Not even a friend. Not even a witness. It's scary. It's honest. You weren't afraid? Only one thing. That I would shut up. And you didn't shut up. Because if I hadn't stood up, I wouldn't have forgiven myself. He sighed. I saw Candace's face when you came out. And? For the first time, she didn't know what to say. So I did it right. You want to know what she wrote on her blog? No. Why? Because she's not a voice. She's a reaction. You have a way of speaking as if every answer you give is a period. Because I've been listening to other people's commas for too long. Doesn't it irritate you that you're being discussed in the media now? No. At all? It bothered me more when no one saw me. Now at least I can see. Will you exhibit again? No. Never? I don't forbid myself. I just don't plan. Because you're afraid of a repeat? Because once was enough for me to prove everything. And if someone comes and asks to buy Veil of Dawn directly, that's not up for discussion. Even for 100 million? Especially for 100, he chuckled. Do you know that people are writing to you from all over the world right now? Let them write. Do you want me to bring you a list of letters? No. There are offers. I don't sell my voice, neither on paper nor on canvas. He fell silent. Then again, and if it is a child who is inspired by you, then he can come to the library. I will be there, with paint and paper. Is this your path? This is my form. Others exhibit. I invite. And if they get angry, let them get angry. I don't have to be convenient if my truth doesn't fit into their format. Maya. Yes? You are one of those rare people who know how to be direct without breaking others. Because I know what it's like to be broken silently. He looked down again. When did you first realize that you could speak? When I painted without fear. Were these your first works? No. The first ones were out of fear. Out of hunger. Out of darkness. And then? Then I realized that I could not only ask for help, but also give. And you decided that silence is the best statement? No. I decided that clarity is louder. You have no aggression. It's amazing. I don't forgive those who humiliate, but I don't feed them revenge. It only makes them fatter. Are you happy now? I am whole. Happiness is after. Now is silence. Do you want everything to be quiet? Let them make noise. But inside I want nothing to tremble. He closed the laptop. I have an idea. What kind? To make an exhibition of your students. In what sense? That's it. You don't sell, but you can show those who are just starting out. Not as Maya Ellis's students? No. Just as artists. Then yes. Only without banners and names on the posters. Why? Because it's too early for them to wear labels. They need space, not a brand. He stood up. Let's go? Where? To them. To those who paint on the floor because there aren't enough easels. Do we have gouache? In the trunk. Then let's go. She took the scarf and tied it around her neck, as always. Maya? What? Do you remember that girl who laughed first in the hall? I remember. She wrote that she was ashamed. So she is still human. Will you answer her? No. Why? Because if the shame is real, it does not require an answer. And they went. Without pathos, without cameras, just to the next street, where children drew on the walls and no one considered it art, until she came and showed what a painting that you can't buy looks like. But you can feel it. Did you see the headlines? No. You're on the front page again. I don't have a front page. I have breakfast and a box of gouache. Liam put the magazine on the table. Maya didn't look. They write that you have given up influence. Do they know that influence is not a check mark next to your name? One of the critics said that your action was a gesture of desperation. It is not desperation. It is a lack of desire to belong. And another wrote that you condone poverty. I do not condone poverty. I just do not hide it behind a brand. He sighed. Maya, you understand that now everything you do will be interpreted? So be it. I don't have to explain the obvious. But they won't understand. That's not my problem. She laid out several sheets of paper in front of her, white, clean, smelling of a new beginning. Are you writing again? No. But you have a brush in your hands. I'm not for the exhibition. I'm for the children. Today, there will be little ones from the northern region. They are noisy, but honest. He sat down next to me. Do you want me to stay? Do you want to help them put on their aprons? Sure. Then you're needed. Footsteps were heard on the street. Laughter. Voices. Children came in. 6 people. One of them was wearing a huge jacket, almost to his knees. Are you the woman in the painting? Yes. And you draw here? Only here. Why not on TV? Because I don't have a remote control. The girl with dark eyes sat closest to everyone. Can I paint with green even if it's not grass? I can paint with what I want to say, even if it's not clear to others. And if my mother says it's nonsense, say it was your silence, only with color. Liam stood against the wall and watched. Do you always talk to them like that? How else? You're not simplifying. They're not stupider. They're just rarely heard. I want them to feel like they can say something without raising their voices. The boy came up with a drawing. Is this a face? Who were you drawing? Myself. Then it's true. But there's only one line. Sometimes one line is more than 1,000 words. The kids were painting. The silence was louder than usual, just the scraping of brushes and breathing, no phones, no cameras. Do you remember your first lesson with children? Yes. And? I told one girl then that she had bad hand anatomy. Really? Yes. And she? She didn't come back. Did you regret it? I never said the word bad again. He sat down on the floor next to her. Maya. M? And if one of them really does become famous? So be it. But you will be asked who you raised. I don't raise, I allow. It's different. But you will be compared. So be it. While they compare me, they are busy with me, not with themselves. It's their loss. One of the boys suddenly stood up. Can I ask a question? Of course. Was it true that you didn't sell the painting? The truth. Even for a lot of money? Even for all the money. Why? Because the silence with which I painted it is more valuable than their screams. The boy nodded. Then I won't give it away either, even if they say that mine is crooked. Then you're already an artist. Not because you draw, but because you decided not to give away what's more important than the price. Liam looked at his watch. It's time to pick them up soon. Let them finish writing. Maya. Really? Do you see that you've changed more than just them? I'm not changing anyone. I'm just not getting in the way of change. He stood up, went to make tea. The children continued drawing. No one spoke loudly. Everyone was busy, with themselves. You don't want to start a foundation? No. Why? Because everything I do can't be recorded. It's about living things. And if I want to help? Bring some water, and old t-shirts. The paint won't wash off. He returned with tea. She smiled. Don't you think all this could be done through organization? Organization is structure, and I am talking about chaos with a good heart. You surprise me. I just don't live up to expectations. That's why people remember. The girl came up again. Maya? Yes. Have you ever been poor? Yes. Is it bad? It's not shameful. And if I'm poor, can I be an artist? If you're already asking about it, you already are. Liam poured tea into the mugs. Can I tell you something? Speak. I stopped being afraid of silence when you were near. Because I know how to listen, and not save. I always thought that silence is absence. And this is presence without noise. They drank tea. The children were getting ready. They left with drawings in their hands. You don't take their work? No. Why? Because they already give more than they receive. Let them at least take that with them. And when the hall was empty, she was left alone. In her hands, one brush. On the wall, one stroke, not finished. You won't finish it? He asked. No. Why? Because sometimes unfinished things are the most honest. And she went out into the yard. The wind was warm. The day was ordinary. But inside, there was something that could no longer be bought, only lived through. Did you know they were still calling? Who? Collectors. Let them call. One gallery offered an exhibition without sales. Just a display. With my works? Yes. I refused them. They now belong to those who can see, not buy. Liam twirled the business card in his hands and placed it on the edge of the table. Maya sat by the window, her legs tucked up. A light rain was falling outside the glass. Do you feel tired? I feel silence. Is it the same thing? No. Fatigue is heaviness, and silence is lightness into which you don't need to interfere with explanations. He looked at her. Calm, collected inside, simple outside. Do you regret anything? No. At all? If I had agreed to the money, I would have regretted it. But now, nothing. They write articles. They analyze your brush strokes. They always come late, when the present is gone. Someone called you a revolution. But I just didn't sell out. This is not a revolution. It's a choice. Not everyone is capable of it. Everyone is capable. It's just that not everyone wants to be left without applause. He stood up and walked around the room. I often think that if it weren't for you, I would still believe that art begins in the gallery. Art begins where the fear of looking stupid ends. And you weren't afraid? Very much. But you didn't flinch. Because if you had flinched, everyone who was just reaching for a brush would have flinched. He came closer. What if I could turn back time? I would get up earlier. Why? To give them less time to laugh. The silence hung softly, like a light fabric. Maya poured tea, without haste. I had a dream. What kind of dream? It was like I was standing in an empty gallery. There was nothing on the walls, just light. And? People still came and looked. Because they didn't come for the works. They came for the feeling. Do you think it's possible? An exhibition without paintings? That was my exhibition. They just didn't understand. Do you really not want to go back? I am already where I wanted to be. But people always want continuation. And I want silence. He sat down opposite. Then tell me. Just me. What? How it was inside. When they laughed. It was empty. Empty? Yes. At some point you don't hear the words anymore. You only feel the weight, not theirs, but yours. If it's stronger, you don't fall. And if it's weaker, then you come stronger next time. You didn't want to answer them? Why? They won't remember my words, but they will remember how quiet it became when I stood up. He closed his eyes for a second. You changed me. I didn't touch you. That's how I changed you. It always works. People change not under pressure, but in the pause between blows. He stood up and walked to the wall, where there was only one picture hanging, a child's drawing without a caption. Did you hang this? One boy left it. He said, I forgot that I can draw without a frame. And you didn't sign it? He doesn't know who he is yet. Why does he need other people's labels? He turned to face her. Don't you just want to be famous? I'm already famous where I need to be. Where? In the memory of those who are now not afraid to pick up a brush. Silence fell between them again. The tea grew cold. The window fogged up. And if they come again? Let them. With money? With what they have. I will meet them with what I have left. And what do you have left? Conscience and peace of mind. He sat down next to me. I feel calm with you. Then stay. But not as a witness, but as silence. And he remained. Without words, because everything that had been said no longer required repetition. And a new spot appeared on the wall, light, dim, untitled, just a trace, just a moment, just a finale, which did not scream, but was heard, always.